Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. My name is Eddie. So for today's video is what travelers need to know when traveling to the United States beginning November 8 for the new travel system imposed by the Biden administration. Details coming right up.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
So on November 8, the United States is going to roll out a new travel system to all travelers entering the United States. This is for citizens of the U.S., permanent residents of the U.S., and foreign visitors of the U.S. I have actually made a table to understand this new regulation of the United States better. So we will discuss it per types of passenger on what requirements are per type of passengers. So we can understand it better and gets prepared for this new travel system of the U.S. So before we proceed on the table, I wanted to show you a clip from State Department spokesperson Ned Price summarizes the new international COVID-19 air travel policy. So let's watch it.
As of November 8th, foreign national air travels to the United States will be required to be fully vaccinated and to provide proof of vaccination status prior to boarding an airplane in the United States. Because it puts public health first, exceptions to this policy will be extremely limited. Primarily, children under the age of 18 and certain individuals from countries where vaccines are not yet readily accessible. Those who are eligible to travel but not yet vaccinated will need to provide proof of a negative COVID-19 test within 1 day before their flight's departure. For those who are vaccinated, the testing requirement remains 3 days before their flight. And that testing requirement applies to everyone, not just foreign nationals, but also U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents.
So in addition to that, here are the new rules for the new travel system to the U.S. to all inbound passengers. So let's start with the new travel system in the U.S. beginning November 8 for foreign nationals or visitors. For this type of passenger, your requirements would be you must be fully vaccinated to travel to the States. Proof of vaccination will be required. So you need to present your proof of vaccination wherever you get vaccinated at. You will also need a negative coronavirus test taken 3 days of travel before they can board a plane to the U.S. or proof of recovery from COVID-19 before boarding. So this particular passenger type is fully vaccinated. There is also exemption to the rule if you are a foreign national visiting or flying to the States and unvaccinated. There is an exemption but very limited. So let's check what are these exemptions that you are still able to enter the States even unvaccinated as a foreign visitor. If you are not fully vaccinated against COVID-19, you will not be allowed to board a flight to the States unless you meet the criteria for an exemption under the proclamation and CDC's order. Number 1, person on diplomatic or official foreign government travel. Number 2, children under 18 years of age. Number 3, persons with documented medical contradictions to receiving a COVID-19 vaccine. Number 4, participants in certain COVID-19 vaccine trials. Number 5, persons issued a humanitarian or emergency exemption. Number 6, persons with valid visas, excluding B1 or business or B2 tourism visa who are citizens of a foreign country with limited COVID-19 vaccine availability. Number 7, members of the U.S. Armed Forces or their spouses or children under 18 years of age. Number 8, sea crew members traveling with the C1 and D non-immigrant visa. And number 8, persons whose entry would be in the national interest as determined by the Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, or Secretary of Homeland Security or their designees. So, if you are one of those travelers who are not fully vaccinated but one of these exemptions, you can still enter the states. But outside of these requirements, outside of this criteria, you also have further requirements. If you travel by air to the United States under one of these exemptions, you will be required to attest that you are exempted from the requirement to present proof of being fully vaccinated against COVID-19 based on the exemptions listed above. Based on the category of the exemption, you may further be required to attest that. Number 1, you will be tested with COVID-19 viral test 3 to 5 days after arrival in the States unless you have documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 in the past 90 days. Number 2, you will self-quarantine for a full 7 days even if the test result to the post-arrival viral test is negative unless you have documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 in the past 90 days. And number 3, you will self-isolate if the result of the post-arrival test is positive or if you develop COVID-19 symptoms. So to those foreign nationals who are unvaccinated and belongs to this criteria by the CDC, you will also have to present a negative RT-PCR test result before you can board the aircraft. So I hope we are clear on this category, but if you want further information, if you are a foreign national or visitor traveling to the US fully vaccinated or unvaccinated, I will leave the link in the description box for the CDC rule on this new travel system to the US. Now let's proceed to the next category, which are the US citizens and the permanent residents of the United States. For the new travel system in the US beginning November 8, these are the requirements for the following passenger type. For US citizen, they have to show documentation of a negative test result from a sample taken within 3 days of travel. You also have to present documentation of their vaccination status. That proof of vaccination should be a paper or digital record issued by an official source and should include the traveler's name and date of birth as well as the vaccine product and dates of administration for all doses the traveler received. For non-vaccinated US citizen, you will have to do a viral test, must be conducted on a sample taken no more than 1 day before flight departure from a foreign country. So before the implementation of this new travel system to the US, regardless of your vaccination status, fully vaccinated or unvaccinated, the US requires a negative RT-PCR test result within 3 days prior to departure. But when this new travel system is implemented beginning November 8, there will be changes to this department. For US citizen fully vaccinated, as we read, the negative RT-PCR test result should be taken 3 days prior. But if you are a US citizen and unvaccinated, you have to take negative RT-PCR test result not more than 1 day before departure from a foreign country. So please take note of that. Our next passenger type are those permanent residents of the United States. For fully vaccinated lawful permanent resident, they have to show documentation of a negative test result from a sample taken within 3 days of travel. Present documentation of their vaccination status. The proof of vaccination should be a paper or digital record issued by an official source and should include the traveler's name and date of birth, as well as the vaccine product and dates of administration for all doses the traveler received. If you are not fully vaccinated, lawful permanent resident, the viral test must be conducted on a sample taken no more than 1 day before the flight's departure from a foreign country. So lawful permanent residents, these are green card holders in the States. So these are your requirements if you are fully vaccinated. 3 days negative RT-PCR test before departure, and you have to show a vaccination proof that you are fully vaccinated, But if you are not fully vaccinated, you have to present a negative RT-PCR test result not more than 1 day before departure. So pretty much, the U.S. citizens and the lawful permanent residents of the U.S. has the same requirements when flying back to the States. In addition, the CDC requires you as fully vaccinated of the following. You are considered fully vaccinated if 2 weeks, 14 days after your dose of an accepted single-dose COVID-19 vaccine, 2 weeks, 14 days after your second dose of an accepted 2-dose series COVID-19 vaccine, or 2 weeks, 14 days after you receive the full series of an active, not placebo, COVID-19 vaccine in the U.S. based AstraZeneca or Novavax COVID-19 vaccine trials, or 2 weeks, 14 days after you receive 2 doses of any mix and match combination of accepted COVID-19 vaccines administered at least 17 days apart. If you do not meet these requirements, you are not considered fully vaccinated. CDC has not recommended the use of mix and match COVID-19 vaccine primary series. However, such strategies are increasingly common in many countries outside of the United States. Therefore, for the purpose of interpreting vaccination records for travel to the United States, CDC will accept combinations of accepted COVID-19 vaccines. So now the real question is, what are the vaccines accepted in the United States when you are traveling? So the accepted COVID-19 vaccines are as follows. For single dose, vaccines approved or authorized by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or FDA are Janssen or J&J. This is for a single dose. J&J so far is a single dose vaccine for COVID-19. For 2 doses is Pfizer BioNTech, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Covishield, Sinopharm, and Sinovac. So please take note of those vaccines that are accepted in the United States to all inbound travelers. Now, what if you are traveling with minor children? What are the testing requirements for children? Children between the ages of 2 and 17 are required to take a pre-departure test. If a child is not fully vaccinated and traveling with a fully vaccinated adult, they can show proof of a negative viral test from a sample taken 3 days before departure, consistent with the timeline for fully vaccinated adults. If an unvaccinated child is traveling alone or with unvaccinated adults, they have to show proof of a negative viral test from a sample taken within 1 day of departure. While children under 2 years of age are exempted from the testing requirement, CDC recommends a pre-departure test for these children whenever possible. So to those parents who are traveling back in the U.S. with minor kids, these are the testing requirements by the CDC before you guys are even allowed to depart from the foreign country where you are coming from. So please be guided for these requirements to all inbound passengers to the U.S. This will start on November 8th of 2021. So by far, that's the latest travel updates for the new travel system in the States that will start on November 8th. So if you are one of those passenger type that we have mentioned earlier, make sure that you have these requirements prior to departure. That way you can avoid the hassle at the airport. You can avoid being denied for departure. So make sure all your paperwork, all documents are intact before you even head to the airport if you are one of those travelers for the US for the new travel system. I will leave all the link in the description box for reference for this particular video. That way you can compare just in case there's any changes. Just in case CDC will do a last minute change on this new travel system. And to avoid those doubts as well if this news is true and legit. Because I might get discredited again, reference in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and share this video with your friends and family. It will really help out our channel. And if you are new to our channel, welcome. My name is Eddie. We do travel updates, immigration updates, and any travel related updates in the Philippines, in the US, and any neighboring Asian countries. If you are interested in those, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will be notified on updates like this. And to our subscribers and to those who have just subscribed to our channel, thank you so much for the continued support and trust to our channel, the Eaton Squad. I hope to see you guys on our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye.
Alright.